getting better and better.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches. I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Erica.
Maria.
And Sawyer.
Soybean.
Erica's daughter's here, so if you hear any... that's her.
She's interjecting as well.
She is making noise, so deal with it. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, we suck at podcasting. That's really all I had to say.
Cool. See you next week.
See you next week, everyone. No, this week we're doing a book called Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen.
Look at you.
I even know about Laura Stephen. Sawyer, it's okay. She's a good person, I think. I think Laura Stephen's a good person. I'm not sure. I don't know her.
Sawyer hasn't pooped in 4 days. So we're...
You're just airing out her business.
I don't know if she wants that out there.
If she does, I'll tell her one day. She'll be like,
thing.
why would you say that to people?
Do you think that's how she's going to talk?
Why would you do
Imagine
that to
she
me,
comes
mommy?
out like super valid. You're like, oh my God, Mom.
Mommy.
Laura Stephen is an award-winning #1 New York Times Indie and USA Today bestselling author from the Northeast.
You're just reading.
Yes.
Okay.
She's from the northernmost town in England. I thought that was a fun fact.
Which one is it?
I don't know. It just says the northernmost town.
Wow,
in
they
England.
won't even tell you the name.
I know.
It's probably like hotly debated.
Can I say when I read this book, I knew she was British?
Yes.
It was a very
Really?
British book, yes, with the
Yes.
mums and the...
Well, I
there was
listened to the audiobook and it's
There was
British.
a couple sayings where I was like, that was the most British thing I've ever heard in my entire life that I wish I wrote down. But they were like, you know how they have their
As
sayings?
long as it like, so
chuffed.
my biggest problem is not necessarily that like it like, okay, let's not cry. It's not necessarily that it like they use like certain like, you know, like spellings
Sayings.
or something like differences. It's that like the consistency of it. Like if you say favorite with a U, you damn well better say every other fucking like weird spelling with the U.
I mean, they kind of do.
Like,
they say
it
color
better
with
be
a U.
color with a U.
Yeah.
No, but like sometimes it's not.
Oh.
And then it confuses me because I'm like, well, where is this British or is this not British?
Well, I'll have to call up the prime minister and let him know that that's not okay.
Okay.
So, LK. Oh, so she wrote a couple books. I didn't know anything about her. So this is a fun one. Okay. So basically our friend Garrett, you have heard us talk about Garrett probably 100 times on this podcast.
He was on the podcast one time on the
We
phone.
called
Via the
Yeah,
phone.
we called him.
Yes.
We asked him what he
He-
thought nodding was.
Oh.
He listens to all of our episodes. Like, that's an amazing
And
friend.
so does his husband without consent.
Really?
Yeah, so
Without
he'll
consent.
he'll play
because it's
it
playing. Yeah.
and Kale will be still waking up in bed and hearing us.
I'm so sorry.
And then apparently they skipped 1 week by accident.
Wow.
Or not by accident. He skipped 1 week for some reason, and Kale was like, I didn't want to listen to this. I want to listen to the girls.
I love that. So Garrett's been my best friend since college. And then obviously we all met in our last job at WWE. We talk about it all the time. And Garrett's mom has become my mom, essentially, right? You know how we all have our friends, like second moms, like that's my girl. Jan is the best woman on this planet. She is so sweet. She's so kind. She is just this little woman who I just want to hug all the time.
I just want to hug her all the
She's
time.
so huggable. She's so sweet. She's always thinking about other people. She's always doing things for people. And she works at a bookstore and she read this
She works
book.
at a bookstore?
I think she works at Barnes & Noble.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure she does something with them. I'll have to ask her about that, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure because she could always get like books and stuff. She read this book, which is Our Infinite Fates, and loved it so much that she decided to send Maria and I a copy
Literally, like sent in the mail.
in the mail. I was like, this is awesome. I have the book right here if you're watching on YouTube.
I didn't know
can
she was
see.
sending it to me.
No, she didn't tell us. She just did it. It was so sweet.
Yeah, so
You got it first, right?
Yeah.
Kristen got it first. I had also gotten like a different a gift from my parents that same day. My parents got me like a new pots and pan set. So that came as well. And I'm like,
Did I order this?
I didn't order this.
That's
I'm like,
so funny.
What's happening? And I got so confused. And the note wasn't in there yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's happening? I just really lost my brain for a second. And then I saw the note from Jen. I was like, oh,
So
that's so
sweet.
freaking precious.
So we decided, since we're going to be reading this anyway, let's do an episode on it. So Maria and I read it. Erica, I don't think you got to this book, which is fine. We have the physical copies.
Things got out of.
That's fine. That's,
Things as in what's in
Holding
your
them.
hands right now. Just baby.
I think that's totally fair. If you're watching on YouTube, you could see it's a nice cover. I liked it. I thought it was pretty. It's got like gold. We don't need to do an explain that cover. There's
Foiling.
Yeah,
It is a really cool book cover.
It's beautiful.
I love it. All right, so we're gonna talk about this book, Our Infinite Fates. If you haven't read it yet, it's a young adult. We haven't done a young adult in a while, so now we're doing one, and it's pretty short. The words are very big. I feel like you could rip through this.
Yeah, I ripped through it pretty
So
fast.
I would say go read it first because there is the spoiling that we're gonna do. There are twisties, there are turnies, and if you don't want us to spoil it for you, you should just go read it real quick. And is it true that this is something to do with like Schwab?
No, V.
No, it
Schwab
has nothing to do with
nothing
it.
to do. She blurbed it.
Oh,
So what I had said about V. Schwab wrote The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
yeah,
Which,
with that book. What happened with that book?
We never read it. I read it.
I didn't read it.
You didn't get to it.
We did read it.
We read it.
We read it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the main premise of that was
And we didn't like it.
Addie LaRue makes basically a deal with, I guess, the devil, and doesn't die.
Okay.
She can't die, so she lives through
This isn't spoilers.
hundreds. Oh, no, that's part of the summary.
Okay.
It's a summary.
All right.
So that's sort of, the premise of that book. I mean, living like multiple lives. You never die.
Oh.
It reminded me of this.
Got
Because
it.
this is an Infinite Fates. There's people that don't die.
I feel like she probably took inspiration.
Well, again, V. Schwab
blurbed it. Yeah.
So
I mean,
they're
if you're
friends.
similar, like
Premises. They're there. Yeah.
I mean, this is a tale as old as time. The
Yes.
whole like reliving things and like
Reincarnation.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
deal with the devil, like all
Yeah.
of these things.
Okay, let's do a 60-second. If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to why can't I speak? We attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, I am doing Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. Yeah, count me down.
In 3, 2.
So Evelyn and Arden are, oh man, how am I going to explain this? Okay. Evelyn and Arden are two people who are in love and they cannot die. Every time they die, they reset. They cannot get past their 18th birthday. And basically Arden has to keep killing Evelyn. So throughout the book, we're getting their lives through history, different times that they were alive. And we don't know why this keeps happening until the very end when we learn that Evelyn is actually the devil. And she made a deal with the mother to not reap souls. She didn't want to reap souls or something. And then
20 seconds.
Arden was tortured, and basically instead of reaping souls, he just keeps reaping her soul so that they
keeps killing
keep
her.
dying and then resetting.
10 seconds.
I don't know how else to
Who's the devil?
Evelyn.
Evelyn.
But she didn't remember that. Let's
3,
just
2, 1. Okay.
I realized what I was
main
saying.
premise.
Yeah, please,
right?
please,
Main
please.
premise is
Yes.
the whole time Arden is always coming to kill her before her 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they cannot live past 18.
Okay.
Evelyn is like, why? Why is this thing? And also, every life they're not the same. They come some lives they're born as boys, some lives they're both
liked
born
that
as
a
girls.
lot, yeah.
Different time periods, different countries, different backgrounds. So we're learning about their history all up until our current day, which is Wales in 2022.
Right.
Evelyn's, which in this world in this life, it's Branwyn is her name, has a sister who has a cancer, and she wants to get her
I
bone
missed all
marrow.
this.
Yeah, you missed all the premise.
Sorry.
She has to basically donate her bone marrow to save her sister, but the bone marrow is happening right at her 18th birthday, and she knows Arden's coming to kill her. So she's trying to stay alive. Through this, we're finding out all the reasons why they haven't had this like thing work for them. Essentially, Arden won't tell her why he keeps killing them, because when she dies, he dies. And when we get to it, he's like, okay, I'll tell you finally. It's because you are the devil.
Yeah.
And basically,
Oh, shit.
I was the first soul you reaped. And I hated you at the beginning, so that's why I kept coming to kill you. And I realized when I killed you, I didn't have to actually reap souls myself. So we got to just live in this sort of limbo of every 18 years having to die,
And they're in love.
and they fall in love through these like millennia, basically, or lifetimes.
Every lifetime they fall in love.
They fall in love before, but when they see each other, like she just knows she loves him.
She remembers certain parts of like her
Yeah.
past lives. He remembers all of them.
Yes.
So it kind of opens up the conversation of like soulmates.
Exactly.
and,
Which
like,
I really enjoyed. I think there was a lot of things that was said about love in this that I thought was really interesting, where like she was talking about, is this how normal people feel in love? Because when they're together, she's just like anticipating death, and it's like really anxiety ridden, but at the same time she loves him so much. And I remember writing down, I was like, yeah, actually, because like for me, I'm so in love with my husband, but I constantly have anxieties that I'm gonna lose him one day. And I've never felt like that in my life, where it's like I'm focused on our love and our relationship, but there's always that like nagging in the back of my head and that longing of like, what the fuck would I do if I lost this man? And I imagine that's amplified when you have children.
Mm-hmm.
So that really resonated with me. I thought their love story was really cute and interesting. I thought the whole premise was really interesting. The thing that I didn't like was that this is a young adult book, and they can't get past their 18th birthday. And it's like that whole side of things, I think, did this book a disservice.
For a younger person?
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
It's fun. I actually like loved the history side. Like when they were like you said, they have different genders. Sometimes they're born into like, they're experiencing the whole 18 years of the life as that character before she starts to realize like, oh shit, someone's coming to kill me. And then before she starts to like remember her past lives and stuff. So she experiences every life. And what's interesting is the 2022 version in Wales, the thing that she hates about it is like all the technology. She's like, sometimes I miss living in the 1600s or like this time. And like, was when all the worst stuff was happening, like famine, and like she survives all of that stuff.
Because she can't die same. Basically, she only dies through his hand.
Yes.
But yeah, for me
But
also
he kills
though,
her every time.
every time.
Even though they're in love.
Or she's killed him too sometimes. Like
No,
they're in
I don't
love?
think
Yes.
she only killed him once.
she's killed him a couple times.
But what happens when one of them dies?
The other dies.
Every time.
They're linked. They're
But
tethered.
he knew that there was like the reason he didn't like not kill her was because there was always this feeling or this overwhelming sense of something bad is going to happen to everybody
If they don't.
So he like doesn't want to kill her towards the end because he's so in love with her. He doesn't want to kill her, but he has to. And the one time that it almost doesn't happen, they're both in a sane asylum. And in this life, there are two women. And she was like talking about her past lives and stuff, and they sent her into like an insane
They were in
asylum.
the 1800s, so they were like basically committed for like hysteria.
And it was
the
like
women were
bad.
doing
Like they were getting like ice baths and like
lobotomies.
the whole thing. And she manages to escape. And Arden, whatever character he was at that time, the girl, Augusta, was still in the insane asylum. So, and she's
heavily drugged up.
approaching her 18th birthday. We think this is the moment that she's going to escape. And as she's like running through the woods, she stops and she sees like this woman with long blonde hair, like in the ashes, basically. And like the world is burning or something. And she has a really bad feeling and she doesn't want to leave Arden behind. And she goes back and they die together. And it's like, okay, so clearly something bad happens if they don't let death take them. So we don't find out until in 2022 Wales, like when she tries to escape again and they're on this cliffside where he's about to launch them off the cliff. And she's like, just tell me, like, what is it? And he's like, I've been trying to protect you. It's the reason I'm not telling you what the thing is. And finally he says, you're the devil. And then that's when she's like,
devil. She has a, when she said the devil is like, it's always
devil,
one.
yeah.
It's like the main, they call her the mother, which I don't know if it's supposed to be Eve.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that.
Because I was listening to it and reading it, and when Evelyn, that's how they say in the book.
I've been saying Evelyn.
When Evelyn, I said Evelyn first when I was first reading it physically, which is the audiobook. When Evelyn first went to Arden, his sister was dying. I think it was in like 1,000. Like he was like in the Viking times. I don't know. His sister was dying. He was praying for his sister to be saved. So she got tethered to his soul because he was like suffering. She's like, I can save her. Just give me your soul. Right. And he's like, what is your name? And she said, oh, just to make him know something that's closer to what he would know best, I say Evelyn. And she didn't have a name.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think
I forgot about that.
it's supposed to mean like Eve. Like Adam and
Interesting.
Eve.
I didn't even think of that.
That's where my mind went. I could be completely wrong.
No, I could see that.
So they didn't end up together?
So what's happened is she realizes that every time he kills her, like he's tethered to her, right? So she was like,
he gets his own soul.
yeah,
reap.
And didn't she realize like, oh, so I'm tethered to mother, so I can kill her?
Exactly.
So she has this moment where she was like, well, then I could kill the mother. If you could kill me, this is like a whole thing. So they're like, let's just stay until our 18th birthday. I think I know what's going to happen.
She'll come for us.
She's going to come for us. So they are together. The 18th birthday happens. They get sucked into the other realm. What is it called? It's called something.
The underrealm.
The underrealm. And so they wake up there and the mother, the underrealm. And the mother is basically like, you know, somebody who feasts on bad things, like despair and stuff. So she's just been letting this happen because like their love is so strong and they have to kill each other every time. So obviously it's like causing the most agony and she's getting off on it basically. So what happens at the end? I was kind of a little bit confused.
Yeah, see... Hold on, sorry. I'm trying the name thing.
Yeah.
Still, an answer to his question did not readily appear, and so I decided to assign myself a name, a real human name, one that felt right on my tongue in the aching corners of my chest, one that was close enough to devil that I could argue to the mother that it had been simple slip of the tongue. I swallowed hard, choking back to the emotion of the moment. Evelyn.
Evil.
Evelyn. Oh!
Love spelled backward.
Damn!
Evil. Come on, Eminem said it.
God, I'm fucking dumb.
No, that's so funny.
I'm not trying to connect it to religion and shit.
No. How did it end?
So it ends basically, the mother is like, I've been basically subsisting on your suffering these millennia, basically.
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
like,
Yep.
I'm feasting on your sadness for the years and years you're not allowed to be together. But if you want to be truly free, I'll free you, but then just give me your love. And then I'll eat your love, and then you basically will not know each other anymore. Like next life, you're free.
Yes.
And they basically decide like that's their only really true option, which it hurts them. So they basically just get devoured in that way. Their love gets devoured, and then we go to basically our next life.
2050 something.
2054. Yeah, 2054 in Scotland. And
it's two men, right?
It's two men. Our Evelyn of this time, I think his name is Leon. He's like a costume designer or like a designer of clothing. So he's getting his name out there, and he goes and he starts working at a coffee shop for some reason because it felt like he had to work at this coffee shop. It's just calling to him to work there. And in walks a man, and he just feels something. He's like, what? Something like strikes him. He walks over, is like, how we met before, and that's how it ends.
Yeah.
So it tells us that even if their love was devoured, love can conquer all.
Yes. It was cute. I thought it was cute.
It's super cute. It's super cute.
This is what also upset me though, and why I didn't give it like a really high rating is because I wanted more for the sister and the mom. I wanted us to go back to Wales, like bring us back there and find
see how it happened.
They don't know each other, whatever. And and like see how it played out. I thought the mom was a good character, and I felt like she gets this shit end of the stick every time. First of all, her dad died, so her husband
tragically
died. And then so she's going through all this stuff. Her sister has cancer, she might die, and then she dies. So this mom is left with basically nothing. And I feel like the sister just treats her mom like shit and like says the meanest
Gracie's
things.
a little brat, but Gracie's having to deal with mortality at such a young age. So she's just processing it however she can. And it just turns out to be the shitty teenager way.
Which is fair. I just felt bad for the mom, and I
felt bad for the mom too. But yeah, for me, I think it's the YA-ibness that I feel like it lacks the depth.
Yes.
For me. And yes, like they love each other. It says it, but I don't feel it with them. Especially if like the premise in the front says they've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every one.
Yeah.
Right? The idea that she's hunted by him was so intriguing to me because I was kind of hoping for that push-pull angst.
Yes.
Of like, no, I hate you because you're killing me, but for some reason I'm drawn to you. Like I was hoping I would see them fall in love
Yeah.
in every single lifetime. But instead, I got them already feeling the love no matter what.
Yeah.
But the minute they lock eyes, like, oh yeah, I remember you. I love you.
I agree
I'm like,
with that.
I kind of want more of that build up for it because we didn't get to see how it actually built.
I thought the first chapter was really interesting, like the wedding.
Yeah.
And their hands being like tied
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool. And then I was like, I kind of wish it started there. Like, I wish like that was how it all started. Like the deal happened there and she wasn't the devil. And like there was like something.
It was a
I
cool
don't know.
twist for her to
was
be a
cool.
devil. But
It
then
was
I was
cool.
like, why doesn't she remember it?
Yeah.
Like what makes her different for her not to remember anything?
Right.
You know?
I always like books that have like deals with the devil.
Me
or,
too.
like,
I love it.
Like the idea of this. I don't know. This is like a real fucking deep cut. Do you remember a movie? It was probably could be 80s. I'm not sure. It's called Oh God, You Devil.
No. I thought you were going to say the one with that hot chick and
Bedazzled.
Yeah,
I
Bedazzled.
love Bedazzled.
Bedazzled was one of my favorite.
Oh,
Oh.
84. I've
So
never seen this.
1984, basically, it's this. I forget what the guy's name is. He's an older guy, but he plays both God and the devil.
Oh.
Ooh.
That sounds fun.
It's a really fun, like in like the
Bobby-
devil's
dark
like
comedy.
real fucking evil. It's a dark comedy, yeah. And it's set in Vegas.
The battle
Oh.
over the soul of a
Wait, that
young
sounds
rock star
familiar.
who is willing to sell it to the devil.
That sounds
Yeah.
familiar. I don't know.
My dad.
Oh, sorry.
I've watched a lot of these like 80s movies, 70s, 80s movies. Because my dad watches them, and this
I'm
one
gonna watch
like
Bedazzled when I get home.
always. This one's funny. Like it's actually
You've
very
seen
funny.
Bedazzled, right?
You seen Bedazzled, right?
Yeah, I love that.
That was
movie.
one of my favorites. Okay, interesting. Well, I will say there was sex in this book, and
Wow.
Towards the end.
like we talked about this before, like sex and YAs. I think they did it exactly how you would.
Yes.
Although it was kind of long and
No, it was like 3 pages.
3 page. Well, for what we usually get, which is like closed door. And she talked about it throughout. Like, you know, she was basically saying like, we never had sex in these lives because I forget what her reasoning was.
They just said it wasn't right. They just
Yeah,
didn't
it
want
didn't
to do
feel
it.
right. They do eventually have sex, and you
Yeah, I'm trying
get
to find it.
a full scene of, you know, they don't use the words obviously, but it's like
they become one.
Yeah, you know.
something like
Yeah.
that.
And I
Flowery.
think it's
I mean,
good.
that's the way
There
it
is a
should
scene
be.
too where the mom says like, "Hey, you know, you guys can like sleep over or whatever, but if you're gonna like do some stuff, make sure you wear protection." And I was like, "Oh, Erica has brought that up before. That like that."
But it's
should be
pretty
mentioned.
British in that way, where like
It's
the
so
Brits are
British.
very much like.
I think she's like, if you're gonna fuck about, and then you might
Yeah.
as well wear protection.
yeah, yeah. She's like, I mean, I was fucking cars at your age, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Who am I to say
She did
anything?
basically say
the mom
that.
was a fun character.
I loved the mom. I loved the Wales side of thing. Like I thought that was a good story. There was a couple like historical stuff. I liked that they were in war together. I thought that was
They both
interesting.
were in the Great War. They were both.
Yeah, what were some of their lives? The camel one where they were best
they
friends.
were. Yeah,
That's when they
were-
started to fall in
That's
love.
when they. That's where he started falling in love with
Yeah.
her.
Yep.
I think that was somewhere in Africa. I think.
I thought that was cute. The fact that they were like best girlfriends, and that was like when they started to fall in love.
Yeah.
I thought that was adorable.
But they've been in the Middle East. They've been
All
in China. They've been in Africa. They've been like, so that's where like, again, Invisible Life Out of the Rue, everyone was always saying like this woman lived through all of these times and not one other person that wasn't white.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
one
I
of the
didn't
that's
know
one of the
that.
issues that people have with that book.
Oh.
This I love. Like one of the chapters, like she's in El Salvador. She's Latina. Like
Oh yeah, it was like the second chapter.
yeah, and I
was-
I got a little scared.
Yeah.
because I was like, whoa, what you doing, lady?
Okay, so that's actually an interesting thing. So like there are some people online
you're good.
that would say that she shouldn't write something like this because
Right.
she doesn't have that background.
Sure.
But like then you don't get a story like this. It's
Yeah,
full
no.
of color.
But then again, like then you get mad if she doesn't add it at all.
Oh yeah, no, there's no winning.
There's no winning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, wouldn't you rather it be like in the book?
What I was afraid of when I first saw that chapter, I was afraid that I was like, oh wait, is this her person who she is now? And like if the whole book, because you know, like for most of it is Wales.
Yeah.
If the whole book in present day was her as a Latina, I would have it more of a scrutiny then.
That's fair.
So I need to see.
Plus, it always feels like when authors who look like me write those kind of books, they're like Google Translate, like how do I say this?
No,
in
I
Spanish,
Yes.
you know, and like
Yes.
that, I hate that.
Yes, and it's very much like
It doesn't feel authentic.
It doesn't, and
doesn't
they
feel
they
authentic,
throw in
though.
those words of like, yeah, she ate arroz con guandules.
I was gonna
And
ask
I'm
you
just
about
like,
that.
okay,
I was gonna ask. You.
okay.
I think that it doesn't make sense for people even what not like ethnicity wise or like it doesn't make sense sometimes like when somebody's like from Boston and they like go too hard in the paint on the.
I feel like if you're gonna write something like that, you need to talk to people with those backgrounds.
Or
like
even I don't know, like if you're from Brooklyn, like don't go like I don't know, like sometimes like I think when you lean too far into a stereotype period, doesn't matter what the stereotype is, you kind of lose authenticity of like the person.
No, I agree with that. I think there's ways that you need to do it.
I mean, but then again, like I'm Latina. So I don't know anything in, let's say it's in somewhere in Asia. Mm-hmm. I have no idea that culture.
Sure.
So I can't sit here as a Latina and get upset about the Asian culture. As I'm not Asian.
Exactly.
I can't say anything about it.
Right.
But I can say about for what related to me.
It's wild that white people do that though.
It is.
Ain't it? It is so interesting.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like if we can like, and I get that to some degree, like there is some, especially in America, there's a lot of like crossover culture.
Well, I think it's because it's the white people that are the perpetrators
when
doing it.
you start like marrying it into families and your firsthand experience is like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got years and years of that experience. Like I can see that, but like at the same time, it's like if you're white and you're like, I get calling out other white people, but like,
I think that's what it is.
I don't think you shouldn't be leading the charge.
No, I agree.
You should be sideline, like pulling people off the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being like, you gotta come in. You gotta come in.
Yeah.
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
You should not be the person that is like,
this is wrong because
this is wrong.
Yeah.
Let me tell you my dissertation about why it's wrong. Only coming from my perspective of why it's wrong.
Why this is wrong instead of
my perspective on somebody else's perspective. Like it's all
who has their own perspective that could be wrong for somebody else's perspective
exactly.
Because again, we are not like a singular person.
Reality, it should be like I don't know, all these like dramas. It's like the drama. I feel like you should be sharing and resharing like other people speaking. That like,
which is what was happening in 2020.
And now,
now it's sort of gone away. If you guys remember in 2020, everyone was like, hey, take a step back. It's not about you. If you truly care about the message, share the ones who are in that community.
Yeah.
Don't just you sit there on the pedestal and you talk out of your mouth. Like, not needed. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah. This book, like we said, it's a YA. I don't know how I feel about YA anymore, but I did enjoy this book. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I think I just need more like development.
Do you know what I notice about YAs is they ask so many questions. Like the character, in order to like get their feelings across, they just ask so many questions. Like, why do I feel this way? Or should I do this? Or should I do? And I'm just like, you have asked me 75 questions. I don't fucking know. Do the thing.
That's a very interesting point.
I notice it the most in YA. Like the way it's written.
Is it because like the young mind is still so like trying to figure out who they are?
I think so.
And they're constantly battling like identity?
Yeah. Probably. I also think it's a bit of a crutch. It could
be.
I think
it's like the show not tell type of thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's like show me within your actions, not within your monologue.
Exactly.
But it's hard to kind of remain young.
Yeah.
In your writing.
No, I agree. And this author is our age. I thought she did a good job though with how.
I think the premise is really cool.
I love the premise.
I like Deals with Devils.
I love the idea of Deals with Devils. I love the idea of like
love a plot
fated
twist.
mates
and I
kind of
didn't
thing.
see that twist coming.
When that happened, it's like you're the devil. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was like, you might have got you right back here, but
yeah.
So, love that.
Very
Great.
cool. Thanks, Jan. This is good, Jan. I was going through Jan's Goodreads. Jan, I'm calling you out for a second, but I noticed she reads like a lot of like romantasy.
Let Jan read what she wants to read.
I was telling Garrett, I was like, oh, Jan likes a little bit of spice. He's like, okay, I don't need it. I was laughing so hard. Sorry, Jan, I blew up your spot.
We love you, Jan.
But we love you so much. Thank you for sending this to us. If you're watching, this is what it looks like. Have you read it? Did you read Our Infinite
What's
Fate?
the question of the day?
The question of the day is, would you want to be immortal? And if you were immortal, would you waste your time with one person or would you go see the world? That's my question.
What's your answer to that question?
I would never want to be immortal. That sounds terrible.
We've talked about this before.
Our only escape is death.
We always said like an age gap on our age cap on it. of how old we want to be immortality wise.
Garrett had a really cool way of looking at death. Recently, we were talking about, I don't know why we were talking about
Y'all
this.
are going through it.
Well, yeah. And he was talking about like what happens, when we die, whatever. I think personally, I'm not religious. I think it's nothing. It's whatever. He was saying like our emotions kind of like outlive us in a way, that our emotions are, I'm gonna have
to ask him about this.
It was very intriguing. And I was like, my point is always, well, if I don't have a subconscious or a conscious, nothing matters. Like I'm not present in my conscious, then why do I care?
Do you ever think about why ghosts are only like colonial?
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's like the new
Because
ghosts?
they're usually the ones that are, exposed or fake.
But no, like why? Like where's like the Egyptian ghosts?
Well, I
Where are
think
the,
it's because of our technology.
But also
I think all the
everything
radio
here,
waves that all of these are sending out to us is fucking up our ghosts.
or the fact that we built all of this on native ground.
where's the ghost that's like TikToking?
They're there.
Isn't that there's? I think I sent you guys a reel of this like ghost hunting group. They're like these like super like zillennial type of like there's these two gay guys and they're like talking to the ghost like, are you gay? And the ghost like says yes, like yes, queen. And I'm like, I think we have those ghosts out there. It's just what sells on TV is that
It's colonial.
the
Really
colonial
creepy.
is the
Only colonial.
Yeah.
Like right now, what's happening with Annabelle being moved? Oh, do you guys see that plantation burned down?
Yes.
Didn't I say
yes.
that?
Wait, was that the same plantation
It's
where
the
they
one-
moved it?
No,
No,
but it
no,
was
no,
like
no, no.
In the same
Louisiana.
It's in
area?
Louisiana. It's one of
a
the worst
Louisiana.
plantations in Louisiana. It got burned down.
And they moved Annabelle where?
to Louisiana,
To New Orleans.
Oh shit! Why'd they move Annabelle?
And 7 prisoners, like murderers, escaped from prison.
I just got the chills.
I'm sorry. I've
Prison.
always felt this. I've been to New Orleans for 24 hours.
Oh,
and
it's so
that
creepy.
place is one of the
It's a
most
hotbed.
charged
It's a hotbed.
places. Not only do you just have what the history of the city itself, right? And how it's built on it. But then the people who come in, like
Yeah.
all the tourists and the energy they bring in there. Oh, it's a hotbed.
Wait,
It's
why
a
did they move
hotbed.
Annabelle though?
It's a marketing ploy.
You know that's here in Connecticut, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's in like
It was
Monroe or
in
something.
Their
Monroe.
Yeah, it's like
it was
close
in
to
their
us.
museum.
Yeah, because Ed and Lorraine came to that house.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
No, they're from Connecticut.
No, I know,
Annabelle's been
but
in
I didn't
Connecticut
realize.
for
I thought they
decades.
I thought they did something with Annabelle, but she's
They
just been in the
moved her.
basement.
So
They
they've moved her.
Well, now, yeah.
And now she's part of like an exhibit over
Well,
there.
that was stupid. Are they going to
which
bring her
is
back?
so dumb.
They
Yeah,
should
like,
leave.
It's for the Conjuring movie.
No,
There's
they
a new
should
Conjuring
leave.
movie.
I don't want
happening.
things. They're going to bring her back, and the crazy thing.
She's been living here this entire time.
Do you know the lore of Annabelle?
I actually don't.
I do. I did, but now I forgot
So
it.
basically,
on
this girl got it for Christmas from her mom, and she was like a nurse, and the doll like killed her.
Okay.
girl or the
Annabelle
mom?
doll lore, as told by paranormal investigators Ellen Lorraine Warren, centers around a Raggedy Ann doll that was reportedly possessed by a dark
Raggedy Ann
spirit.
doll.
The story involves a young nursing student named Donna and her roommate Angie, who experienced unsettling events, including the doll moving on its own and appearing in different rooms after receiving it as a
I'm
gift
getting the chills.
in 1970. The Warrens investigated and believe the doll was being manipulated by a demon and not possessed by a child spirit.
We don't allow any spirits in this house. No.
You're
I just
fine.
we're talking about. I hate talking about it. It freaks me out. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Bob.
We'll see you next
He
week.
hasn't bothered you in a couple years.
If you want, stop talking about it. If you want to watch these episodes, you can go over to
YouTube.
Erica.
With the baby.
Look up books_n_Betches BETCHES on Instagram. Click the link in the link tree. You'll see all our stuff. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.